Well, I've come here to Killala for an evening of poetry reading, music and song, celebrating the 150th anniversary of the birth of William Butler Yeats.
Well, this evening we have the local community in Killala who've come together, and we decided as part of National Heritage Week that we would stage an event here in Killala to share the little known story of Mr. Yeats. He came here around the turn of the century, around 1900, to collect some folklore stories, and he heard the story of 1798 and how the French landed outside Killala and tried to help us with our independence, and he took that story and used it to create his first play, Kathleen Ní Shúilleabháin. So with that written memory of that time, we thought it was the perfect time to bring Yeats and his stories and his poems back here. Maureen and her students have put some of them to music, and we have an evening of poetry and song here this evening. A lot of people aren't certain exactly why we are bringing Mr. Yeats back to Killala. We're going to set the scene for them. We have Steve Dunford, a local historian, who's going to tell us the story of 1798. Then we start into the song part of the evening. We have some poetry, and the whole way through the evening it's interspersed with song and poetry. And we finish up with Van Morrison's Moondance, because Yeats and his poems have a recurring theme of moonlight. And obviously here in Mayo, moonlight's kind of famous. So we said we'd take the Van Morrison song and end the night with that.
Well, for Yeats to celebrate Yeats, I mean, he's like the grandfather of us all of us who aspire to write poetry or report on what Ireland is, in drama or in whatever way. W.B. Yeats was the master of us all, so it's a great privilege and a delight to be here celebrating him in the West, which was his bailiwick, where he wanted to be. Yeats was a channeler. He channeled and was focused on channeling mystical things and things from our past and from tradition. And, you know, so when you start talking his words, you start inviting a kind of channeling. So I think his words through anyone's lips are his words, so he'll be there.
I think it's very fitting that the proceeds of tonight's event go to the RNLI. You know, the Lifeboat Institution is a very important charity. I mean, it's a remarkable organisation that's you know, totally financed by financial contributions from charitable donations, which is amazing. And I think it's fantastic. I mean, I think the setting we have here really lends itself to sort of arts and community. It's very good at the Church of Ireland community to facilitate and to allow the building to be used tonight, because it's got such history itself and it's been such a part of Killala, the Killala fabric for so long, for so many hundred years. And I think it's a wonderful occasion.
W.B. Yeats mentions wrote Kathleen Ní Shúilleabháin in Killala, set it in Killala in 1798. James Joyce mentions them, as I said. You know, the French are on the bay in Ulysses. The year was Bliain na Francach, the year of the French, and Mayo was known as French Mayo afterwards. And we're just doing this evening just to commemorate the fact that he would have walked these streets, that he would have worshipped in this cathedral, you know, what, 100 years ago, I don't know. And as you can see behind me here, a great young audience as well, that's the way to do it.
My dad actually was a huge fan of Yeats, and one of his favourite poems, I should say, was Lake Isle Free. So I actually wrote the music for that one for tonight, just a little nod to my dad. So yeah, that's how I became involved with it, and it's community-based. We've got community children involved. We've had a ball. We've really enjoyed the songs and learnt an awful lot about Yeats on the way. We have an amazing harpist, Rosie Alexander. We have Mary Munley is playing the flute and the accordion. We have two of my students who are playing guitar, Niamh Killeen and Ria Loughney. And then we have our amazing little kids at age around 10, 11. So they're so sweet, they're brilliant, and so eager for tonight.
Shout to the water.